What's up, everybody? I'm Simon Sabra, and today I got for you my August manga reading log. So before I jump into that, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Simon Sabra YT. Link will always be down in the description. Also, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss an upload, all that good stuff. And also comment down what manga you've been reading recently and what's your thoughts on it. But with all that out the way, let's just jump right into it. Alright, so I didn't really read too much physical manga. I did only read about a good 6 volumes, but I did read a lot of digital manga, which I am really excited to talk about. So if you're interested in that, definitely be sure to stick around to the end of the video, because that's when I tend to talk about the digital manga. So the first physical manga I do want to talk about is My Summer Review Volume 2. I did talk much more in depth about this when I read the volume 1 in last month's reading log. So if you want to check that out, definitely be sure to, because I'm going to kind of go over this pretty briefly. It is a very, very fun romance, and I really love how like volume 1 sets up for volume 2. Between the two, I personally enjoyed volume 1 a lot better, because it was, you know, that phase of the characters getting to know each other and stuff like that. But Volume 2 follows up really nicely. The art is really good. And overall, I really can't complain too much about it at all, honestly. And like I said, if you are interested in my more in-depth thoughts on this, definitely check out last month's reading log, because like I said, I did talk way more in depth about it. But here's just some of the art color page right there. Really nice. And like I said, overall, really enjoyed it. One thing I wanted to start doing was kind of rate everything I read out of 10. So I would give this a good 7 out of 10. Honestly, I really enjoyed reading this one. Now, this one I did talk about in my manga haul, the most recent one, and now I could talk about it more in depth, and that is Chain Soldier. I did give a little story about it where a friend did buy it for me and said, hey, read it and talk about it in a video, and that's what I did in my reading log, but in my manga haul. But now I'm gonna talk way more in depth about it. To start out, this manga is, just off of this first volume, it's pretty mid. I'll be honest, it is pretty mid. As far as the story goes, the characters go, it's pretty mid so far. But I do think, or at least not think, but I've heard that it does get significantly better as the volumes go by. But like I said, just off of this volume 1, it's a solid 5 out of 10. It's just mid, I'll be honest with you. Now, as far as the story goes, it's very interesting as far as the basic premise goes. Whereas this character, I really forgot his name, but it's set in a world where males are kind of like they don't have much power at all. They're kind of like, they just do cleaning, stuff like that, really basic stuff. And whereas the females have like the higher end jobs, the, you know, life going better for them kind of thing. And this character, he's really got nothing going for him, and he ends up in this other world called Mato, which is kind of like the flip side kind of thing. I don't really know like the best way to describe it, but it is like another world. And in that other world, there are monsters that attack people, and he gets saved by this girl. And when she saves him, she turns him into his slave so that he kind of can unlock some special powers. And so after every mission he does as her slave, he gets a reward, which is whatever he's fantasizing about or desires the most at the time. And like I said before, I'm gonna let your imagination go from there. And just off of that alone, like I said, the basic premise is nothing brand new, I will say that, but it is very interesting. And will I pick up volume 2 for it? Yes, actually, I will pick up volume 2 just to see how it goes. I'll definitely be picking up the first 3 volumes. Like I said, I've heard it does get better, especially at the end of the volume. I'm not gonna show it just in case if y'all haven't read it yet, but at the end of the volume, it does do like a preview of what's going to be in the next volume, and the preview seems really interesting. So definitely going to be picking up volume 2. Like I said, out of 10, I'd give this a solid 5. It's just very standard all across the board so far. But like I said, definitely will be getting volume 2, and hopefully I enjoy it a lot more than volume 1. Now, something I did enjoy way more than probably both of those actually, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite read for this month. It is Nightfall Travelers, Only Leave Footsteps, I think. Leave Only Footprints. So This manga would have been my favorite manga that I read this month, except for something I'm gonna talk about a little bit later. And it is such a cute, fun, and adorable manga overall. So it is about two characters named Ninamori and Fujino. To my memory, at least, I believe this short one is Ninamori and this is Fujino. I could be wrong on that, but this manga, for one, what stood out to me the most is the really fuzzy kind of art style. It is very unique. I'm not sure how well you're able to see it like through the camera, but the art style is really cute, really adorable, and like I said, just fuzzy. But I think it really fits the story very well. And what the story is about is the main character, Ninamori, is part of a newspaper club. And so what she does is she kind of finds these haunted places and makes news reports on them to show that they're actually not haunted. And it is really funny because she gets scared very easily, but the other character, Fujino, the purple-haired girl, she kind of is able to like see the situation and then break it down and give a very detailed explanation as to why it's not haunted, but more so just coincidental. And just the relationship between the two characters is really, really interesting because Ninamori is very bubbly, very energetic. Meanwhile, Fujino is a much more introverted kind of character, and they get along really nicely. It is, like I said, it is a very cute manga. And what really drew me into this, like I said, was definitely 100% the art. But there is a color page midway through the book, kind of in like the last chapter or so, that really blew my mind. And when I read it, it was just so beautiful to see because the moment and everything just lined up perfectly for it. I'm not sure if I showed it, but here's the back of the book if you want to read it yourself. But it is overall a really, really beautiful manga, and just the cover alone, the color choice, and just everything about this manga is actually really good. Definitely would give this probably an 8.5 out of 10. It is really good, and I would definitely recommend checking this one out. It was honestly really fun to read, and it's really not something I normally read, but this one, like I said, really just caught me by surprise. But we're gonna get into the last 3 physical manga that I did read for this month. All right, so now this one also would have been my favorite read, but because it is 2 volumes, I kind of didn't count it really. And that is volume 2 and 3 of Welcome Back, Alice. And it is by Shuzo Oshimi. And if you don't know, Shuzo Oshimi is one of, if not my favorite mangaka, especially as of lately. And this series is a banger. And real quick, I really do love this volume 3 cover. It is beautiful. But this is such a strange manga. Definitely a very sensitive topic that this manga touches on. And I wouldn't really recommend it to everybody. However, if you can enjoy this, you will really, really enjoy this. It is honestly really good for what it is. I wouldn't say it's Oshimi's best work, but it is definitely interesting. In this volume, volume 2 specifically, or I forgot which volume it is because I did read them like right after each other, but Yo, which is the main character, finally ends up in a relationship with Mitani, which is this girl on the back here. But Kei, this character, is like trying to sabotage the relationship. Not really, but it is really interesting and just so odd to see. And the thing I love the most about Oshimi's works is how all of the characters are just okay. It's something he does where the main character is kind of the same character in all of his manga and just slightly different, if that makes sense. Especially in the main character's appearance, they all really look the same, and I don't have a problem with that. I think it's really interesting because to some extent it feels like I'm already familiar with the character, kind of. And especially because some of, if not all of his stories are coming of age stories. The ones I have read is this, Happiness, Flowers of Evil, and Blood on the Tracks. Oh, and Devil Ecstasy. And honestly, while I wouldn't say this is top 3, I would definitely say it is really, really enjoyable. It is just something else all around. The story is just ridiculous. And like I said, if you can bring yourself to like look past the topics that are mentioned in this manga, I think you can really enjoy this manga a lot, because it's really good, honestly. Like I said, wouldn't say it's any of his best works. I would give it maybe a 6 or a 7 out of 10. So 6.5 out of 10. That goes for both volumes. Now, the last physical manga I did read, which is my favorite that I read this month, 10 out of 10, easy, and that is Liquor and Cigarettes by Ranmaru Zarya. I think I said it right, yes. And this, for one, it is a BL manga, and it is just a single volume. And when I talked about it in my manga haul, everybody was commenting like, oh, Ranmaru Zarya has a lot of good works, you should check out the rest of their works and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, well, whatever, we'll see how I feel about this manga. And now I want to check out the rest of their works. So it is about these two main characters. I think I might mix this up, but Camilo and Theo, I think. I could have had that wrong, but basically he runs a liquor store and he runs a cigarette shop, and they've been friends for a very long time. So in the city that they live in, first off, the art in here is really good. But in the city that they live in, or town, I'm not sure, they're having a wine tasting competition, and it's kind of just tradition for everybody that runs a liquor store to compete in the competition. However, Theo can't really hold his liquor, so he doesn't really want to participate, but due to certain situations he ends up volunteering to participate. And what happens is that Camilo kind of trains him how to, hold his liquor a bit better. And the relationship between the two is really good, but the catch is that Camilo is actually bisexual and Theo is straight. But Camilo wants to get with Theo because he's just always loved him, which is really interesting, honestly, because like I said before, they are childhood friends. And so what happens is like I said, because Theo is straight, he doesn't, he's not really into that. But Camilo is like, okay, let's just do like a test run and see how you feel about it afterwards. We can stop at any time. So there's two main plots in the story, which is Theo being trained on how to hold his liquor for the competition, as well as the relationship between the two and that test run. And both of the plots just go hand in hand extremely well together. And it is just honestly amazing that something like this could have been written so well, because it doesn't feel forced. Like, none of the interactions between the two characters feel forced, and it just feels very natural. And just, I don't know, something about it just feels refreshing. I don't know, but it is a really nice manga. If you're into BL, I'm sure this is probably a popular one in the BL community. I'm honestly not sure. But if you haven't heard of or read Liquor and Cigarettes, I would definitely recommend it. Like I said, to me, 10 out of 10, easy. Would definitely recommend if you're able to bring yourself to enjoy it. But definitely, like I said, the best thing I read all month. And I will be looking into some more stuff by Ranmaru. So if you've read any of their other works, definitely comment down which one of their works is your favorite and which one you'd recommend me to read. Because like I said, definitely I am going to check it out. I did search up Coyote, I think the name was, and the covers for it looked amazing. So might go and look into that one next. But that's all of the physical manga. Let's jump into the digital manga I did read. All right, so starting with the digital manga, I do want to touch on these two really quickly. First one being Doraran. And it is getting, or at the time of this recording, it already has gotten canceled. So I saw it coming, I'll be very honest. I've talked about, I think about previous reading log, or maybe the one before it, how it felt like Doran was definitely coming to an end, and now it has gotten canceled. Truth be told, this might sound kind of wrong of me to say. I'm kind of glad it got canceled. I understand that the mangaka has put their heart and soul into the manga, but I do think that it wasn't really the best thing going on, and I feel like something better could be replacing it. I am familiar with the two works that are going to be coming in soon. and they seem kind of interesting for the most part. I'll just have to wait it out and see for myself after reading maybe the first 3 or 4 chapters of them. But like I said, Doron has got canceled, and honestly, the way it ended for a canceled manga, I wouldn't say it was that bad. I'll be very honest. I think it ended in a way that felt like it made sense. You know, I can't really be mad at how it ended compared to, like, say, Ayashimon or Phantom Seer. So definitely fine with that. And next I wanted to talk about Earthchild, and I believe Earthchild is getting canceled next week, in the upcoming week, or sometime soon. And honestly, once again with that one, I don't really mind, because after the first arc, if you have been reading it, you'd know what I'm talking about. After the first arc where I forgot the main character, but he saves his wife and, you know, they come back to Earth, all that good stuff. I was like, okay, honestly, it should end right here. And then it kept going with a time skip, and I was like, okay, you know, it's cool, whatever. And the way I'm in my head thinking it's gonna end, I think it'll end just fine. Similar to Doron, where it has a, you know, kind of proper ending. But like I said, I don't really mind the ending. I feel like it's did what it had to do, and I feel like something better, like I said, could be replacing it as well. So honestly, between those two manga, I am more upset with Earthchild ending, because I really loved Earthchild, but I do understand that it wasn't doing too good, but it's fine. Now, one thing I did read a lot of this month was Blue Lock. I have been binging Blue Lock. I don't want to say too much because I know volume 2 did recently come out, and I don't want to spoil anything, but volume 3 everyone is gonna love. I already know it. Volume 3 everyone is gonna love. Volume 2 was definitely amazing. I'm very far in the manga though, but honestly, it is just banger after banger. Like, every chapter is just extremely good. Every arc, every game, it is really good. And honestly, if you are reading Blue Lock, definitely stick through with it. If you haven't been enjoying it for whatever reason, I say definitely stick through with it, because it is really good and it continues to just get so much better, even though it started out really good still. So definitely, like I said, stick to it. If you haven't read Blue Lock yet, definitely read it. I don't know what you've been doing. I'm sure you've heard everybody talk about it. Even if you're not even familiar with soccer, definitely stick through with reading it, because it is really, really good. Another one I did want to talk about was Chainsaw Man. Not too much. Chainsaw Man is going good. They did recently bring Denji back into the story, which was really fun to see. Personally, I kind of enjoyed the other main character a bit more, but I understand it is Denji's show, so I can't be mad at it at all. And the chapters he has been in, I believe he's been in 2 chapters so far, I think 2 or 3, but they have been actually really interesting, and kind of just shows not a matured Denji, but seeing him once again just after everything that happened in part 1 was just, it was like, hey, you know, that's nice to see you again, kind of thing. So as I said, it is nice to see him again. Chainsaw Man has been going pretty good so far, and I'm excited to see what happens later on, especially with the way I think it's chapter 6 of part 2. The way that ended was really, really interesting, with the meeting at the place with the other guy. I'm gonna keep it very vague in case people aren't caught up, but if you know, then you know. It is really interesting. After that, I did want to talk about Black Clover. Now, Black Clover, I am caught up with it so far, and it is very odd, so to say. And I say that because, spoilers of course, with King, the Wizard King kind of being, I forgot what the name of the magic was called exactly, spirit magic. And it reminds me a lot of, I forgot which arc it was exactly, but with the other guy, the guy that's one of the captains, and he had the elf inside of him, something like that. I forgot exactly how it went, but it's reminding me a lot of that arc. But honestly, I'm still enjoying it a lot so far, because when I read Black Clover, I really just turn my brain off, enjoy it, and just let it do its thing. And it is really enjoyable for the most part. But this arc so far, I'm not really feeling compared to the other arcs, but definitely looking forward to what happens next with it. But the last digital manga I did want to talk about, because I really wanted to talk about it, is My Hero Academia. And if you aren't caught up with My Hero, click off the video. Thank you for watching. But if you are, then we need to talk about this. And don't comment anything regarding My Hero, because I know, once again, everybody's not caught up. But okay, when Bakugo died, I was like, okay, wait, this is getting really good. Deku's gonna come in, he's gonna see Bakugo dead, and he's gonna have this epic rage moment. And Bakugo hasn't even been dead for a full chapter, really. And they started talking about bringing him back with the ninja girl. I forgot her hero name, but she was like, I'm gonna be your heart. And I'm like, no, man, why? Just let the man die and just keep it pushing. Like, I understand Bakugo is people's favorite characters. I get it. But I feel like his death would have brought so much to the series, because one, it just makes Shigaraki look 10 times cooler, way more evil, and gives Deku more of a reason to hate Shigaraki. And Deku would get this epic rage moment, and it would just be great, honestly. But Bakugo coming back, honestly, it's such a disappointment, because like I said, he hasn't even been dead for like a chapter, really. I think he's only been dead for one whole chapter, that's about it. And then now they're talking about bringing him back in the chapter after. So it's, I don't know, it's just very frustrating to see. And I feel like it's probably just because of the reception that it got in Japan, so I'm not gonna speak too much on it. But still, it's like, dang, man, I really was like hopeful that, like, okay, somebody finally died in My Hero that actually like really mattered. I thought it would be All Might back in the All For One fight, but it was Bakugo. But now Bakugo's coming back. Oh, and what's his name, Dabi came back as well, which was mind-blowing, because I was like, okay, well, I guess everyone's just coming back now. But like I said, regarding Bakugo's situation, it is really, really a letdown. If you want to comment how you feel about it, please try to keep it very vague so we don't spoil it for people that aren't caught up. But also, you can DM it to me on Instagram, and I'll happily talk about it with anybody. But that's really it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss an upload, all that good stuff. Once again, be sure to comment down what you've been reading recently, how you feel about whatever you're reading, what would you recommend, anything like that. But this is Simon Sabro signing out. I'll catch you on the next one.